Don't Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, talk a little heavyweight news. You know, we're talking about concussion, right? Heavyweight news is going down the whole time lately. So, at the Errol Spence fight with Sean Porter, Deontay Wilder was in the house. So he was being asked questions. And, he was asked about the fight with Tyson Fury and, how that went. And he had little issues with the commentary for the fight. And it's the truth. He was talking about the commentary, consent narratives in there, had him losing the fight by 10 rounds to 2, which wasn't true. I told you I definitely had it. He said he won the first 4 rounds, and, with 2 knockdowns, he had all the right to win that fight, in his opinion. And many think the same way, right? But, the narrative is Tyson Fury won the fight. And, it even got to the point to where that was, the narrative was after that, even Terry Atlas, remember? He was exposed. Like Deontay Wilder was exposed in the fight. I'm like, wait a minute. Well, now, if Tyson Fury is supposed to be the lineal champion, the best heavyweight out there, how can he get exposed for damn near beating him? That means he does a good effort. There's nothing else better to offer. You can look at that differently. But it was exposed. So Deontay Wilder has issues about it. Has issue with Paulie Malignaggi's kind of commentary. And like I say, when I see them disagreeing, I think it's more of just a disagreement. It's not like the systematic Paulie Malignaggi hating on Deontay Wilder, because we know after Staverne's second fight, you can hear Paulie Malignaggi saying, hey, if that was a statement, if there ever was one to be made. Or after the fight when he knocked the other dude out, Dominic Brazil, that was a statement. So, there's probably no hate there, but at the Tyson Fury fight, it's leading the narrative somewhere else. Deontay Wilder took issue with it because his point is no one is really celebrating what he's doing. It's always what the opponent is doing or what they're up to, and, their valiant efforts or comebacks from doping issues and stuff. And the guy that's not doped, no one's talking about him. The smaller guy that's not doped, surrounded by giants that are doping. And so I understand the brother. He probably tuning in because he know damn well what it is. We've been saying it for the longest when it comes to the dude, man. And he said something that I think he should say more often. He should say more often, and that's like, shoot, I'm a Hall of Famer now. What is he, 41-0 with 40 knockouts or something, right? A draw. He's a Hall of Famer right now. He should say it more often, because you know what happens when he says it himself? He's a Hall of Famer right now. First of all, some more hate, which is very important if you want to sell some tickets. But other than that, it's for people to try to go research it. No, he ain't, because so-and-so was so-and-so. But let's make sure it's real. We got all these Hall of Fame fighters, right? All of them. Got many losses, most of them, right? Got a whole bunch of losses. And then we're not even counting the whole bunch of close fights they was in, too. Many of them. All these ones that, that are Hall of Famers. Mike Tyson, for sure. Mike Tyson, somebody we celebrated his run. You know what I'm saying? Because Mike Tyson, shoot, from 80s, 85 when he started, around to 87, 88, wasn't, losing nobody. Mike Tyson was what, 50-6 in them last 2 or 3 losses you could have with 44 KOs, right? 50 from 50 wins, 44 KOs. But he lost 5 times by KO, right? And I was thinking, well, if Deontay Wilder not no Hall of Famer yet, who would shoot? Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? What about Mike Tyson's wins? Who would he beat? Mike Tyson's opponents. Mike Tyson's best wins. Because Mike Tyson's losses is something different. He lost to Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, and Deontay Wilder now, I go with Lennox there. But Holyfield and Deontay Wilder, the other one that Mike Tyson lost to, that's a good one. You know what I'm saying? That's a good one. Depends on two or the 3. That's a good one. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I got Deontay Wilder against Buster Douglas, McBride, and Danny Williams all day long. But those are the ones at the end, so they don't really count. But what are the wins? Those are the ones Mike Tyson lost to. But his best wins. And you look through there, say, hey, I got to go with Razor Ruddock. Because Razor Ruddock had 1 loss when he lost to Mike Tyson. But gave Mike Tyson a good fight. That's probably the best one. And one that goes under the rug, people don't really want to, under the radar, I say it like that. It's Tony Tucker. Because that was when Mike Tyson was right in that run, and trying to get that IBF title from 6'5" Tony Tucker. Tony Tucker took them 12 rounds, and people act like Tyson was beating everybody and knocking them out. No, he didn't. Tony Tucker. That's probably the next biggest win because I know Frank Bruno. You want to go with that? Or scared Michael Spinks. Smaller type, but Spinks was good coming up in the division, but he beat everybody else, but he not a chance against Mike Tyson, or the old Larry Holmes. And we're talking about the last couple of fights, Larry Holmes. Because Larry Holmes, a prime Larry Holmes, and Deontay Wilder is a damn good fight. Damn good fight. But I still have Wilder pulling that out with a right hand. But your boy could fight. So Trevor Berbick, when he won the title, but Trevor Berbick had 4 losses and a draw at the time. But Tyson did knock him out, make him, that was the original snake leg, right? So the point is, from Tyson's best wins, Mike Tyson, this is someone, granted Mike Tyson, I don't know if Ruddock beats Deontay Wilder. That's a good fight, but I got Deontay Wilder. Ruddock had a very strong left hand, but I got the Wilder on that. Tony Tucker and Wilder's a pretty good fight. But Wilder has a little bit more punch power. He might get through that one. Right? But there was no big wins for Mike Tyson where Deontay Wilder wouldn't beat those guys at 6'7" with this speed, athleticism. Remember, so that's my point. I don't know if any of them guys, right, beat Deontay Wilder. The only one is I would say, okay, I'm going with him 2 out of 3 against Wilder would be Lennox Lewis. Because Wilder is going to get him once if Akeem Rockman and Oliver McCall did. The only difference is Lewis will be paying attention to Deontay Wilder. But we don't, whatever. Deontay Wilder's in every single fight. Even with those Hall of Famers, is what I'm trying to say. The Holyfields of the world, the Mike Tysons, and Mike Tyson's victories, the guys who beat Mike Tyson would be harder than the ones that Mike Tyson beat. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like there's so much separation that it's outlandish for him to be saying he's a Hall of Famer. Now, with Deontay Wilder, the thing is, a lot of people, he's not a mega star. We know why. It's BTBG. It's the American boxing scene. BTBG is beat the black guy. Bottom line, right? Because there are people who literally, and I said it 2 years ago, basically, that don't like Deontay Wilder, but like knockouts. They like Golovkin, but they don't like Deontay Wilder. Separation there. How could that possibly be? Say if you don't like somebody who talks a little bit, then you didn't like Andre Ward either. You didn't like Andre Ward either. This is a righteous man. Figure out a hard worker to win fights because he's not extremely talented. Undefeated. Didn't like him either. I mean, like a technical guy with Terrence Crawford. How does that work? How does that work? Like Terrence Crawford went beating bigger guys and coming up and undisputed, fighting everybody. Don't like him either. And then to top it off, you don't like Floyd Mayweather, which is basically, ridiculous because Floyd Mayweather is not even close what he's accomplished. And the guys he made look pedestrian, if it's Pacquiao or Marquez. Marquez, Pacquiao having wars against each other made Marquez look pedestrian. Then they say he was bigger than Marquez. You know what I mean? But want him to go fight people like Golovkin. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But those things are possible. They happen before our eyes, so don't expect me to be over here talking about it like I don't see that. BTBG. So that is why he's not a megastar. But the other reason, this is where the Paulie Malignaggi's and the Teddy Atlases come into it. These are boxing purists. Malignaggi's, on the outside. Malignaggi ain't knocking nobody out. So Tyson Fury is his kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't knocking nobody out, but watch the boxing guys. Watch what he's making a miss. And then he hits him with a 1-2. Then it didn't hurt nobody. The harder punches are coming from Wilder. But Paulie Malignaggi will see that because that's how he fought. Right? He's a boxing purist. Teddy Atlas. Those guys, they see boxing and then they're a little upset. And other fighters, remember at the beginning, no one liked Deontay Wilder until he just constantly kept knocking people out and he earned their respect like he did ours. He earned our respect. But at first, those purists is like, man, we in here working in the gym every time this dude come in here on the Orthodox knocking people out, man. Making our job look like we don't even need to do what we teaching you. Because he's not throwing punches from exactly the right angles and how he should be standing and his feet are not where they're planted. No, because I'm doing some stuff. The dude was open. I ain't got time to situate my feet. I'm going to hit him when I saw it. When my instinct told me to hit him. and not this boxing technique. That pisses people off that are trainers and coaches and all the levels, that's only learned one way. So that those are the things that are possibly happening as well. Then you got the natural jealousy of other fighters that could possibly happen. Like, man, this dude been knocking out more people than I did. I'm supposed to beat him. God damn, who the hell is this little skinny dude? Somebody knock him out. And they find out he got a chin too. And then they really get mad. So it's a lot of things going on. But when you go into other sports, it's the same thing. I can give you a Dirk Nowitzki. If you guys know basketball a little bit, Dallas Mavericks legend just retired. People, when Dirk Nowitzki came as a 7-footer in the NBA, a 7-footer, and before his time, there was no one throwing a guard at 6'2", throwing the ball to a 7-footer and say, "Hey, you take a 3-point shot before I do." Are you kidding me? There was never a 7-footer that was able to shoot 90% from the free throw line ever. 7-footer wasn't even thought about. 7 foot, you come in the gym, we kicking you out, you over here. So he changed basketball. He came in and people were laughing at Don Nelson. Matter of fact, Charles Barkley for saying, somebody go look at him, laughing at Don Nelson at the time for trying to bring him in, calling him Irk Nowitzki because he didn't play defense. Like he didn't play defense. He could play on 4s, but you can't put the big 7-footer on a 3 and say guard, Vince Carter at the time or something. But whatever, neither here nor there. But he was different. So first you're going to get laughed at until you find out how effective it is. Dirk Nowitzki went on to become a legend. One of the baddest dudes you ever want to see if you don't know. Because basically there was no stopping him. Because you better not foul him. Because what we say 90%. I am dangerous. Almost Steph Curry dangerous. Because mine's up higher. There ain't nobody blocking. And I'm shooting from the parking lot. Right? I can go left or right. If you 7 foot, you probably not guard me if your name's not Kevin Garnett. Right? It was a problem. It was a problem that people took risks for because I don't care how he's training with Holger Geschwinder, and we training different than other 7-footers ever have in history, but they made it work. And that's similar to what's happening with Deontay Wilder. This big old skinny dude ain't supposed to be doing this. No, he isn't. But he is. He's doing it right in front of your face, so pay attention. Doesn't matter how it's getting done. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter how it's getting done. So I'm going to just make sure that that's clear that when Deontay Wilder says he's upset with the commentary, he should be. But he's past that, And if he says I'm a Hall of Famer right now, the run that he's had, yes, he is. Because, see, I calculate, and I'm sure he is as well. I'm sure his people are, and I'm sure a lot of people that are paying attention are, is that, not only the people he beat, he's distancing himself by knocking them all out. 1. 2 is who he's wanted to fight. Right? There's not somebody, like I was actually trying to become undisputed. We all know that Deontay Wilder is not the problem becoming undisputed. So with that being said, yes, the man is a Hall of Famer to me. That's a Hall of Famer to me. Right? That's a Hall of Famer to me. And if you go back and look at the other ones that you consider Hall of Famers, and you will see that they have a lot of losses in there and a lot of close fights. So Deontay Wilder can, as of right now, have a loss or two and have some close fights. And he would still be a Hall of Famer. So don't mess around and let him become undisputed. Then this conversation is a no-brainer. So I'm glad he's upset, and I'm glad he's saying it loud so people that don't agree can research and find out, damn, he's got a point there. Dome Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.